Hi guys, it's Chris at Cork and Crown, back in my cider shed with some more cider to try. And not just some cider, but also a bit of cheese. I tried some cheese a couple of episodes ago. Haven't done it for ages. It was the Baron by God, so the Brie style cheese from Suffolk. Said I picked it up in a shop in Wendover, number 2 delicatessen in Wendover. Talked to James there. Knows a lot about cheese. Great guy. Brilliant shop. If you live in Wendover or close to Wendover, lucky you. Great cheese counter, nice selection, got some nice cider as well from Dowding's when I was there. I also picked up some cheese. But before we talk about that, even though I already have, before we talk about that, let's talk about the cider. So, the cider, I do not need a bottle opener or a corkscrew to open this one, because look, it's in a bottle. It says Cork and Crown in it actually. You can't really see it very well, but it does. It's quite an old, it is a clean bottle, but I've used it so much it's got residue on the inside which doesn't want to come off. So what's in the bottle, Chris? What is that in the bottle? Good question. I'll tell you what it is. It's from Gwatkin and it's called Golden Valley. And it's their sweet, still blended cider. And you know if it's from Gwatkin, it says sweet in it, it's going to be sweet. Because Dennis Gwatkin and his crew have a sweet tooth. But then so do I. So that works fine. But also what Dennis gets in his cider is not just sweetness, but acidity, which balances it very, very well. This is a bag-in-box. Now, this is a bag-in-box I've had for a very long time. And I just opened it today. I've had it for, I don't know how long. Because I use this stuff for actually, I mean, some people like sweet cider, so sell it as sweet cider, but I also use it. Got this particular box for mulled cider because it's great for mulling. And we couldn't mull cider this last Christmas because of COVID. We weren't giving out any foods whatsoever to drink on site. So I must have got it for the winter before. So I've had this for more than 18 months, easily more than 18 months. So it's been sitting here for more than 18 months. So let's open it, taste it, see how it's survived. How long do bag-in-boxes last? Don't know. Open question, but not for very long. Not very long because we're going to try it. Let's look at the cheese as well, shall we? Yes, please, Chris. All right. So, it's called Driftwood. It's from White Lake Dairy. I believe it's called White Lake Cheeses or White Lake Dairy. It's on here. Hang on. There you go. White Lake Cheese, Driftwood. Now this is a company I've heard of loads. I've never had any of their cheese. I don't know why. Just because I work for cheese businesses and other businesses I've worked for have sold any of their cheese. That's the simple reason why. But they're in Somerset. They're small. They've got their own goats. This is a goat's cheese. They also do a sheep's milk. Well, they do quite a lot of cheeses actually, which sometimes worries me because it's hard to do one cheese well. We're doing lots of different things. You know, it can get even more tricky. However, these guys got their own goats, which they are looking after very well. They're out on pasture, where and when possible, etc. They also do a sheep's milk cheese and some Guernsey cheeses as well, from local milk supplies. So that's not their own herd. They're from local supplies of sheep's milk and Guernsey milk. Guernsey cows, if you didn't know that. But this is their Driftwood, and there it is. What a pretty little thing that is. Now, it looks a lot like something from the Loire Valley. So the Loire Valley is the spiritual home of goat cheese, and I'm going to be going there in about 4 weeks. And we are going, it's definite now, we're going, because I'm going to do some films in the Loire Valley, because that's where we'll be, in the Loire Valley. And you can tell it's goat cheese, because look how white that is. Look at that, you can just see the texture of the curd there. So geotrichum rind, that's this wrinkly stuff on the outside, which smells awesome. I mean, I don't know what it smells like, other than geotrichum. I love geotrichum. It's my favourite mould, which I've said before. I'm allowed to have a favourite mould because I'm a cheesemonger and have been for 26 years. So yeah, nice delicate rind, very thin, beautiful rind on this actually. Gorgeous looking thing, great to feel as well. Lovely, some moisture in there. It's dark because it is ashed, which is the tradition in the Loire, to ash the outside of the goat's cheeses. Keeps flies off. It's also alkaline, so it helps raise the pH. Raise the pH, lower the acidity, which starts to give you breakdown and so forth under the rind. So yeah, gorgeous looking thing. This is thermised, which is, so you can, is it pasteurised? No. Is it unpasteurised? No. Because thermisation is like the lower end of pasteurisation. So 72 degrees for 15 seconds is industry standard for pasteurisation. Thermisation is 63 degrees for 15 seconds. So it takes a lower temperature, but also the 15-second timing. So it's more gentle. On the milk, knocks out fewer, well, enzymes one hopes, minerals one hopes, etc. Enzymes are important when it comes to maturing cheese as well. This is going to be a lactic set cheese, which gives you a friable texture, so it's going to be like quite friable, but it actually seems quite soft. It might be a pre-drained curd, which I won't go into, but pre-drained curd is gives you what a fluffier, more pillowy, moussier texture. But judging by the outside, I'm going to say, well, it could be. Looks a bit like a Dorstone as well, from Herefordshire, which is pre-drained curd. It's fluffy and moister from Neil's Yard Creamery. So we'll find out when we try it. I've already tried it, but you know. So let's try the cider, shall we? God, 5 minutes in, no cider. Pop. So big glass. Big glass. So nice colour on this. So unfiltered. The stuff in bottles that Dennis Gwatkin does is filtered because you think it looks pretty in the bottles. So there you go. That's original blend. That's what it looks like. God, I mean, look at that colour. It's just gorgeous. You can see why it filters it, because that is easy on the eye. But it's not necessary to filter it. I think you just like to look at it in the bottle. You know, people pick it up because of the colour. I do. I think it looks great. This is unfiltered, however. Very similar in colour, actually. But much hazier, obviously, because it's not been filtered. This is his sweet. I don't know what the blend is. Blend of Herefordshire cider apples, I assume. They've got their own orchards. So it will be sweet. It will be sweet. But let's have a sniff. Almost smells like Calvados. It smells like it's got some Calvados kind of background. It just smells like a sweet, rich dessert, though. It really does. Ripe, rich, aged apple, but acidity, though. There is acidity in there. Yep, there's definite acidity, but it smells like a very rich, sweet dessert. It smells like Calvados. It smells a bit like an ice cider as well. It's got that sort of character to it. But there's other stuff going on. There's other stuff going on. I mean, there is like a brown burnt sugar caramel toffee element to it as well, subtly in the background for sure. Hints of short crust pastry as well. Yeah, it smells like an amazing dessert. Mouth watering. This might be too sweet for this cheese. This might be quite a low salt cheese, and salt and sugar tend to be good bedfellows. But let's try it and see. So, 2 years or whatever in a bag, in a box, has not affected this in any way, shape, or form. It tastes like a really rich, sweet dessert. That's what it tastes like. It really does. But the acidity is great. The acidity just balances it brilliantly. I really like it. There is a definite tartar character to this. It's much sweeter than any Keith cider I've ever had by some margin, and it's still. But it has an element of Keeveness about it because of that tartar character, which I totally associate with French Keith ciders. If you like dry cider, you're going to hate this. If you like sweet cider, if you like sweet apple desserts, like me, you're going to love this. I mean, it just keep going back because that acidity, that pronounced acidity. Yeah, it makes me think ice cider, even though it's not as strong, it's not as viscous. It's got an ice cider quality to it, but a bit more apple character as well. There's a bit more fresh apple character. It's lingering in the background. And what you get if you stewed an apple, it might get very sweet, but you might still get some of that hint of like fresh apple element to it when you're eating it. This has got that. It absolutely does. I think there's a hint of like stone fruit in there as well. You know, peach, like a peachy sort of character maybe. I mean, it's practically a dessert wine. And it's only 6%. It's half the strength of a dessert wine. But to all intents and purposes, it's a dessert wine. It really is. Shall we try some cheese? Got my cheese knife. Got my cheese. That might smother this. This might be quite delicate. Maybe I should have had this first. But, you know, first world problem. So let's cut a bit off. Lovely white colour, which we associate with goat's milk. No keratin in goat's milk because it gets converted. to vitamin A by the goats from the food, from the grass. So, nice actually. Great geotrichum. Great, that slightly kind of savoury, nutty character that I can't describe that I get from geotrichum. I can really taste it. Great texture. Vegetarian rennet, not animal rennet. But animal rennet can give you better flavour and texture, but you know, I've had animal rennet cheese that weren't great. And this is a vegetarian rennet cheese, which is in fact great. I'm going to have a little bit more. That geo's great. It's just starting to break down on the red. Just starting to get a little bit of give. So yeah, totally inspired by Loire Valley, this. By like Sainte-Maure is the obvious choice. But it has got a very light, mushy texture. It makes you feel like it could be a drained curd. It's quite fluffy, quite mushy. There is salt in this actually. There is salt, but it's perfectly judged. It's bang on the money. Quite delicate, but I have to say I'm a bit of a goat's cheese fiend, and I love geotrichum rounded cheeses, particularly goat's cheeses. And that is actually pretty darn fine. It's pretty darn fine. Driftwood, yeah. From White Lake Cheeses, yeah. Let's try it with a bit of cider. Let's see what we think. It might not work, but who cares? It's nice. Great texture. Really light. Mushy. Okay. I think this is a bit too bold and rich and sweet. This has a delicacy. This is not, it's not indelicate, but it's nothing like as delicate as this. I think what this needs is like a nice salty sharp cheddar or something blue. Something salty and blue with the sugar in this, I think that would be awesome. I think it would work really well. Yeah. Also because this is still, it's caught in my palate. Sometimes I think you need bubbles to scrub the fats off your palate when you're having cheese. But having said that, 2 years in a box and it still tastes great. This is a good cheese. Driftwood from White Lake Cheese is a good example of geotrichum sort of, yeah, fresh goat's cheese. And I'm going to try some more of this stuff. I'm going to get some more. I'm going to bring it to the shed. I'm going to have it with some cider because that is solid. Yum, yum, yum. Okay, guys. Thank you for joining me in my shed. I hope you join me again. But until then, cheers.